Hello fellow YouTubers and subs and teachers. I'm going to do a pretty quick video here on my thoughts on what to do with my own personal finances or my family's. So the issue that we might be seeing is that the good news is my wife got into nursing school, but the unfortunate news is it might be $30,000 in debt. In our Roth IRA, we currently have a little over $50,000, and I could take out $20,000 approximately tax-free. That was all part of contributions that we made in the last decade or so. So out of the $20,000 we put in, over half of it, about 30, was in gains. The options that we could do for student loans are: one, take out a full student loan for full $30,000. It's at 4.35% interest, which is relatively low, and then aggressively pay that off whenever my wife actually finishes nursing school. She should be bringing in about $2,000 more a month than what we're currently at. Daycare might be a little bit more, but otherwise we could save easily $1,000 a month, up to maybe $1,500 a month into student loans. So it should be able to go away pretty quickly. So one option is just leave the Roth IRA exactly the way it is and not do any changes. Second thing we could do is take out maybe $20,000 and pay off as much of this tuition as we can, and then we'd have a pretty regular $10,000 in student loans, which I think we could pay off much quicker. The plus to that is we're essentially getting a guaranteed 4.35% rate of return, because we wouldn't have to take out that money and owe interest on it. But the negative is, if the stock market does gain higher than that, we would actually be losing out. Also, it does give us less total debt than we had before. Third option is to, kind of a midway of the three, is to take, say, $20,000, put it in a much safer investments like a money market account, earning about 2% interest, and then when nursing school's over, start paying that off then. And then in that way, we'll gain a few $100s or so in interest from the money market that will just be extra. But in that regard, it's actually going to be a little bit more risky, because the stock market could easily go up or down. We don't really know. The main issue I'm seeing is if the market doesn't earn at least 5% in the next 2 years per year, then financially it would make much more sense to just simply pay down the debt. There's a pretty good chance that a recession might hit, which would make it much lower in our actual accounts. And if that happens, then obviously it would make sense to just pay down the debt. However, there's a chance that it could go up 5% or more. It could go up 10, 15% for all we know. And then it would actually financially make more sense to do it that way. Just keep it in there. Another issue of taking out the money in the Roth IRA is you can never put the money back in. It's not a loan. Future accounts, we plan on maxing them out to $12,000 a year, $6,000 for me and my wife. However, if you take it out, again, you can't re-put it in, and that leaves us less options in the future for leaving it to our kids or leaving it to charities and whatnot, and for retirement. So there's a lot of issues that are pretty much in my mind. If any of you guys have any advice or ideas, definitely like to hear about it. Another thing that just came up in my mind also, when we have this money in the Roth IRA, the current dividends are about 4.35% when you look at all of it. Some of it's at 2%, some of it is SPHD, which is very close to 4% right now, and a few of them like RYLD and KBWI are actually higher. So we could just possibly keep it in there for the 2 years. Hopefully that the market stays flat, and ideally goes up, but if it stays flat, the dividends will cover the interest payments. So again, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the issue. Please leave a comment down below, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.